What is good? We are back with another reaction video. It's PvbloGrey. But today's reaction video we got from, I believe, Bloomberg News. I don't know what the fuck the actual company name is, but it's Bloomberg. But the name of the title is "Expect More Deaths as States Reopen," says John Hopkins Adalja. I'm hoping I pronounced it right. I don't really care. But yeah, before we even start the video, man, I'm gonna just say, like, yeah, bro, you should expect more deaths, especially if people ain't been getting their fucking immune system right while quarantined or at the having these stay at home orders, and you've been wearing this mask and inhaling all of this carbon dioxide you should be letting out, getting more sick and fucking up your immune system even more. There's a good chance more sicknesses and deaths are gonna happen. Yeah. It's only expected. Not to mention, they're not even mentioning all the other data, like because there's going to be more people interacting, there's going to be more murders. Of course more deaths are going to happen as more people are around each other. But anyway, you like these videos, you like these reactions, you find them informative, valuable to you, smash that subscribe button. But let's get into it.
I'm sure you saw the report out just a little while ago in the New York Times that internal documents at the administration suggest that there'll be a doubling of deaths in early June. Can you react to that report and whether it seems plausible?
We know that as we decrease social distancing, the virus hasn't disappeared, and we're going to get more cases, and we're going to get
this nigga from Pittsburgh.
more deaths. That's a simple fact, that without a vaccine, without a highly effective treatment, deaths are going to continue. And the question has always been, will the hospitalization rate, will the highly effective treatment, deaths are going to, a simple fact, that without a vaccine, without a highly effective treatment, deaths are going to continue. And the question has always been, will the hospitalization rate, will the level of people needing hospital level care, will that exceed hospital capacity? And I think that's the issue that we've been trying to struggle with, that flattening the curve was really about preserving hospital capacity. And these deaths were going to occur, and they're going to occur at a faster rate as we get back to normal economic activity. And this is something that it shouldn't be a shock to people, but it is. The way that this was presented to the general public has been very bad from the very beginning of this pandemic.
So that's a kind of a terrifying thought. It suggests that, well, at least now we have the beds. Therefore, if states reopen and you get sick, well, there will be a potential bed. Should states reopen then, Doctor?
States need to look at what's going on locally in terms of the dynamics. Do they have the capacity to care for these people? Do they have contact tracers? Do they have diagnostic testing? And then
fucked up already. The first thing you should have said is, are they getting their immune system in order? That's the first thing you should have said. Or is there a fucking plan? A plan that does not involve mass vaccinations. He already fucked up.
Make a start to remove some of social distancing. And remember, it's not an all or none proposition. There are going to be certain things like mass gatherings that are really not going to be safe to have because of the number of cases that they have. But the fact is that we're going to have to come up with a way of dealing with this number of cases and this number of deaths until we get a vaccine. And that's why it's so important that we focus on vaccines and antivirals, because...
Let's look at it. New virus cases. Lockdown index. Some shit that nobody probably knows, because I don't even know what that means. They're not gonna explain what it means. They're just gonna throw a number up there and they want you to look at it, and they want you to color coordinate this with the color. As you can see, if it's red, it's worse, and if it's more blue, it's better. They just wanted to all look bad. This is the fear-mongering shit I'll be talking about, bro. You probably don't know what any of this shit means, because this isn't meant for anyone to actually understand. Only part they want you to understand and coordinate is the key. It's like looking at a map. They got a key. The key is up here. the better or worse. And then at the bottom, all the shit you don't understand because there's no key for it. Only thing they got a key for is the color. So they want you to look at the color and realize, damn, that's a lot of shit that's worse. It's the fear-mongering shit that I'm talking about, bro. I'm disappointed, Bloomberg. But you do what you do for those numbers, right?
The virus doesn't disappear. It doesn't change its behavior. It's still going to act the same as we open states. And states have to be careful about what they do. And there are places where it may be much more difficult to go back to full activity, like former hotspots. But there are other states that are in a much better position. But we shouldn't kind of paper over the fact that we will be getting deaths from these cases, the increased cases that are going to occur. It's just what this virus is going to do. And this is a societal discussion that we have to have over what is the right balance to strike here, because this virus is going to continue to act the way that it does, and we have to take the right actions.
We're just getting word out of Texas. In fact, Doctor, 884 fatalities in the last 24 hours. The case have risen now 2.5% to 32,332. Now, Texas is reopened, right? I mean, individual businesses are taking measures and making sure that there's social distancing measures in place for the most part, although I'm sure some feel they don't have to. So are we guaranteeing that fatalities will rise?
So I just wanna look at this at the bottom. Texas virus cases rise 2.5%. So does that mean it rose 2.5% from what it already was? Because let's just say if the percentage to people cases were okay, if there was only 1,000 cases and Texas virus case rose 2.5%, that only means what? No, let me not try to. I ain't got the time to do it. I'm too fried. So let's just say there's 1,000 cases, and that's what it initially was, and then they reopen and it rises 2.5%. So 1,000 times 0.025. Whoa. So that meant it just would have been 25 more deaths compared to 1,000. So that means it would have been 1,025 deaths compared to the 1,000 that already happened. Doesn't really seem like a lot. Just my opinion, doesn't seem like too much. I think this is a numbers thing where they're really trying to get you, because they're not really explaining what the rise is from. What were the initial numbers? Nah, I don't see that.
Because of states reopening. I mean, given what you said, it seems like that's a fact.
Yeah, I do think it is a fact, and I think it's something that we have to accept that that's going to happen. And with Texas, for example, I wouldn't necessarily look at the deaths now and say this is a result of the reopening, because remember, deaths lagged for about 2 weeks, and they haven't been open long enough for that to have been an impact. So there is a danger in trying to attribute the rise in cases or deaths right after opening and saying that was because of the opening, but really that was what happened 2 weeks ago. So that's one caveat there. But I do think that as people interact, they're going to transmit the virus, and vulnerable people are going to get infected, and some of them are going to die. And I think that you have to balance what goes on in the economy, because keeping the economy completely locked down is going to lead to other costs as well as deaths as well, because we know that cancer screenings for cervical, breast, and colon cancer are going down, vaccinations are going down, chemotherapy is being delayed. So there has to be...
All right, I'm done. He said vaccines. I don't care about none of that shit. I guess I'm pretty disappointed in this clip from Bloomberg. I see y'all with the fear mongering. Y'all with the numbers games. I'm not really with it. And it's sad to see like Pittsburgh putting these type of people out that are so worried about vaccinations. Is there anybody else out there who has a better idea than the vaccine? Like nutrition and eating right and building up the immune system? Anybody like that? Put them on the news. Give them 15 minutes of fame. Please. That's all I got to say about that.